Hello, YouTube. How are you doing? As always, I'm going to check the sound. All right, that's going well. And everything okay. All right, so let me go live on the other channels, right? Hello, TikTok. Hi, Facebook. And hi, Instagram. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Happy Freedom Friday. Happy Freedom Friday. Let me put this up a little bit. See how it looks. All right, that's better. Hi, everybody. Welcome, and happy Friday. Today, I'm going to talk about when things get too hard, right? When things get too hard. And as you all know, for the people that have been here before, we talk about transformation, we talk about life journey, and we talk about getting better. So, when it comes to this topic, what I am planning to do is share some of the things that I have been learning as I've been going through my journey in terms of when things get too hard. And my first question for you is when things get too hard, what do you do? Are you aware of yourself when things get too hard? Hello, Tabra. Hello, ma'am. Welcome. Nice to see you. My first question again is when things get too hard for you in your life, what do you do? Do you crumble? Do you get depressed? Do you get into anxiety? What is your go to? What is your default plan when things get too hard? Right? Do you call friends to help you out? Do you gossip? Do you sleep? Do you stress eat? Because that's one thing that I found out in my family. My sister, my younger sister, 8 years younger than I am, she stress eats. Whenever things don't go her way, she would stress eat. So right now she is overweight. So being aware of what you do when things go hard, number one, is the first important thing. But let me tell you what I have learned in terms of when things go hard in my journey. Even right now, as I am talking to you, I am experiencing that. I do all the above, but instantly snap back to reality. Calmness is power. Absolutely, Tabra. Absolutely. Do all above. Yeah. I think a powerful place to be, right? That I have experienced. For me, when things used to go hard, I would go into depression and anxiety. That's my default setting, right? Because I don't gossip and I don't like talking on the phone. So I go straight to depression and anxiety. A powerful place to be is to be aware when things are falling apart and to understand used to. Yes, that place. There's always in my school we call it juxtaposition, right? The juxtaposition, there's always that very tiny space, that split second where you're aware that things are falling apart in your life, but also is mentally how your language, the language, how are you calling it? Are you calling it things falling apart? Are you calling it releasing things? Or are you able to be aware that at that point, that juxtaposition, the universe is giving you what you've been asking for, which is where I want to take this topic, right? When things are hard, things are not hard at all. Things are not difficult at that time because that's the juxtaposition. That's the place where the universe is showing you that You ask for these things, and I'm bringing them into your life. So now it is time for you to be aware that you are at that point of change, of transformation, of getting into the person that you want to be. And that's the elevation point. That is the make or break point. That is the point either you fold and fumble, or the point where you grow and elevate when things are hard, right? That's the position. We talk about adverse childhood experiences and we talk about childhood trauma. And if you've been through any form of adverse childhood experiences or childhood trauma, then it is possible that your parents or the people that raised you, they always see fear, they always see scarcity, and they always see hardness, they always see pain. So, what they didn't teach us is that when things are hard, things are not hard. Things are changing. Something, somewhere in our life needs to change. Hi, Kay. Kay Babs, yes. Something, somewhere in our life needs to change, right? And that is also the stuckness, because when things are hard, we're sometimes stuck or we feel stuck, or we call it stuck. We are thinking stuck and stagnant and pain and hardship and trouble. Oh my God, why me? This is happening again. That cycle of pain and hurt and generational trauma is where we are back at again. But I can tell you from my own experience and from my own life and the journey that I have been through, right, Tabra? When things are hard, when you change your language, what's his Dr. Wayne Dyer? Dr. Wayne Dyer says when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I'm going to say that again. Dr. Wayne Dyer, he passed away. He said when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I agree with you. The psychological assumption has its effects. Yes, the psychological assumption is always the mindset that we've been raised with, the words that we hear everybody around us talk about, right? We are getting into hard times if you listen to the news, which is why I always say don't listen to the news, don't watch television. I have not had a television for about 7, 8 years. And I've been on this spiritual journey for about 10 years. So I started really early, considering I'm still very young, right? And I've still shedding the things that I have been told. One of the things that came to mind today when I was taking my walk to the store is that my parents, my mother specifically, because I went to Publix and I wanted to get butter, which I should stop eating. I should stop eating butter because it breaks out, but I love butter. Hi, Ibujalo. Hello. Hello, Sophia. I'm using too much memory. TikTok. Right. So this butter, kebabs, when you change the way you look at things, yes. What you look at change, yes. We are the way that we see the things. Exactly. Right? There's another saying, you become what you think about most of the time. Whatever you think about most of the time, that's what you become. My mother always said things are expensive. It didn't matter what we saw, it didn't matter where we were, what we were buying. Things are always expensive for her. So she always goes for the cheapest things. Personally, in my life, this is something that I have been trying to break away from for a very, very long time. Why? I don't have a problem working hard. I love hard work. I love working. I love what I do. And also, I love good things, expensive things, right? But my words, your dad will say that too, okay, Babs, exactly. And most of us, this is what is keeping us from having the things that we want. This is what is keeping us poor. So my words, I have stopped a long time ago saying this is expensive. I wouldn't say it. When I see things that I want, I would always try get out of that autopilot of thinking this is expensive or labeling things expensive, right? Because it was an autopilot for me. I would try to get out of that and see it as I will be able to afford that. I want to afford that. I can afford that. Is another is another mindset that they're teaching us too in my content creation campus. But I didn't know until today that I still right now look at things as expensive. Oh my God, this is so expensive. Why is it so expensive? Why doesn't it cost that much? Because I was looking at this butter at Publix and it's herb, it's garlic and something herb, right? And I wanted that. I always buy things like that, and it costs nearly $3 to $4. And I'm thinking, wow, one stick of garlic herb butter. Why does it cost so much? Today, before I came on live. Thank you so much for this. You're very welcome, K-Babs. I do this all week, right? We talk about these issues. And so, yes, this is real to me, and I can have that. And not even I can have that, because if you listen to Dolores Cannon, she always say the words that you use, if you put it in the future, then the universe will think in the future somewhere, right? It's a matter of being able to look at things as in you already have it right now, right here. So on my way home, it just snapped. It just got to me like, oh my God, that mindset that my mother gave me of thinking everything is expensive, from my mother to my grandmother, they look at everything expensive. I am still thinking that way. Changing the way you see things really changed my life. Absolutely, Sophia. Absolutely. It must have been Kerrygold butter. Yeah, I think is the Swedish, is it the Swedish or Italian something butter, but yeah, about that brand, yeah. And I'm thinking I still think this way. So how we think and how we see the world is what makes things hard for us. Nothing is happening. There's a saying, there's no problem until you make it a problem, then you have a problem, right? And Muji, I always talk about Muji always say that life is just happening, right? And he would say that his master, which is his teacher who passed away, I can afford anything. I just need to work to make the money to afford it. Any material thing manufactured is because there are people who can afford it. Right. But if you have the mindset that you need to work to afford it, then you're going to always work to afford it, right? So you're thinking you have to work, even though you need to, action needs to be taken. But sometimes money comes to you from nowhere, and that is possible. Somebody can send you money from anywhere, and you can never know where that money is coming from. It's not always the work that brings in the money. So that's also a mindset thinking, because from childhood, we've always been told that we need to work. You need to work hard work. You need to do this. If you don't work, you don't make money. If you don't work, you don't have money. Right? The hardest, the people who work the hardest are the poorest people, and the people who work the least. make the most money. Right, K-Babs? That's another mindset. Okay, yes, the mindset has to be present. The mindset has to change, right? When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I talked about yesterday how in our content creation campus, right, one of the captains, we were talking about the 369 theory by Nikolai Tesla, right, which is the manifestation method of writing your goals 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times at night. And we were talking about that period of elevation, that period where you need to elevate, where you need to get out of where you are to become the person that you've been manifesting to be. But that require the 369, yes. Okay, Bob, stop laughing. Yeah, it's the mindset. Yes, stop the 369. You can look it up. It's a powerful method. It's a powerful method to do. If you can stick to it for about 1 month, it brings a lot of clarity, because as you write it, as you go with the goals, your goals will change as you gain more clarity, right? And we were talking about that point of elevation, that point where you go to the next level. And what I have noticed in myself, like I always say, the things that I talk about, I've experienced, I've studied, I've moved away from, or I am working on right now. To elevate into the person that you need to be, it requires a certain form of self-awareness. And that self-awareness is being able to listen, one, to yourself, two, to the universe, and also being able to see how things unfold, how things are changing in your life, right? How things are changing. For example, right now, I talked about this yesterday too, how I'm choppy. It's the internet on Facebook. TikTok, how is it? Is it good? How Instagram? How's the internet? Hey, YouTube, how's the internet, everybody? It's choppy on Facebook. Oh, I see it is slow. It's probably the internet connection. Right. So for me in my life, I've seen that a lot of things need to change. And I'm changing that. Okay. Okay, try that. A lot of things need to change, right? So when you're elevated, right at that point where things are hard, where things are so difficult, where things are so painful that you can't think, usually those are the things that are stopping you from thinking is just the distractions around you. And those distractions, those things that are distracting you, if you can destroy everything that is distracting you and still be able to focus on your goals, on your vision, on the things that you want to do, the distractions will fall away. Because it is the distractions that are making things hard. It's the distractions that are making things difficult, because you think, oh my God, everything is falling apart. Because our parents made us feel that everything is always falling apart. But right at that juxtaposition, if you're able to still focus on the things that you're working on your goals, right, on your vision, you're able to stay focused on that no matter what is happening. Sometimes when things are hard and things are falling apart, it's because they need to fall apart. You need to let go of them. You're over here, hi Tabra. Okay, Instagram might be better. Right? Sometimes when things are falling apart, it's because they need to fall apart. And you need to let them go. That is the letting go. Learning to let things go. Now, I'm not saying this is easy because it has been hard for me to do for a very long time. I'm getting better at it, right? You need, when things fall apart, it's because they need to fall apart. There's a saying, if you're looking for a relationship and you're looking for a partner, but somebody is occupying your life already, how are you going to get the type of partner that you need? If this is full, you need to empty it to get something back in there, right? So when things are falling apart, it's because they need to fall apart. You need to let those things go. That's where the elevation happens, right? When you're focused and nothing is distracting you, no one is distracting you, and you are able to be aware of your autopilots, of your default settings, the default things that you go to when things are hard, right, Tabra? It can be stress eating, it can be depression and anxiety. For me, it can be calling friends, it can be talking to people, it can be talking. For some people, it can be going straight back to victim mode, and some don't even know that they're back to victim mode. But if you're aware of these default settings, right, and you don't go to the default settings, you just focus, laser focus, tunnel vision to where you are going. That's where the elevation happens. That's that position. That's where the elevation happens. Yes, refuse to go back. That's where the change happen. Right at that juxtaposition. It's because you've stayed the course, right? And you change the things that you do. Maybe you need to walk out more. Maybe you need to go out in nature and be able to sit down for clarity, the peace and the calm. A lot of people don't like peace and calm because it's been already been labeled in their mind as boring. There's a saying that if you're used to toxic relationships, a healthy relationship feels boring because nothing is happening in a healthy relationship. Peace in itself, if you're used to toxicity, peace feels boring because peace is quiet. But if you're able to change that, and I'm telling you, I do this myself, so I've experienced what I'm telling you. If you're able to be in calm, in nature, even when you're driving, there's traffic, right? But mentally, you don't tune into the road rage, into the traffic. You have stuff that you're listening to in your car. You tune your mind. You are intentionally watching everything you do, everything you say, everything you eat. Holding onto that point of awareness is what's difficult for many. It used to be for me because you want to fall back, you want to buy that ice cream. I do. That's my default, ice cream. You want to buy that ice cream. Society have told us about retail therapy, and many of us, we believe in retail therapy, but that in itself is a lie. Because you go for the retail therapy, you buy all this stuff and you feel so good. Most of it you don't need, and you come back home after 5 seconds of trying the stuff. Now you're back to regret mode. Oh, I didn't need this. Why did I get that? And that takes us back to the wants and needs. So even if you're doing retail therapy, right? A lady that I used to listen to would say, always buy the things that feed your soul. Even if you want to do retail therapy, look at what would feed your soul. It can be investing in yourself in terms of personal development, in terms of joining different types of communities, which I have talked about that I am a part of from Girl Hold My Hand to also Hustlers University that I'm learning to create content. You can invest in that. Personally, for me, now, one of the changes that I am doing, I want to be back into my workout clothes, into my workout outfits, right? If you've been part of my lives before and now, you will see it's different. I'm standing up. All my cameras are up. I'm standing up. I'm not sitting down when I come on live. These are changes. They are things that I needed to buy to do this setup, to come on live, to stand up. There are another changes that I needed to do, from buying this wrap, the do-rag, the hats, more workout gear. Why? Because it feeds my soul. I bought this water bottle, so when I go on walks, I can use it. It feeds my soul, and it's still retail therapy, right? So you change the default setting, but that requires you to see your autopilot and to change that idea of things are not hard. The universe is bringing to me what I ask for. I told you about my parents always saying that things are expensive. If I went back to my default settings, I just would have looked at everything as expensive. But I had to change that mindset of looking at things as neutral. Not I can afford it in the future, not I will afford it in the future, but neutral. This is the price, this is the price. I'm not thinking anything about it right now. That's a hard one to do, right? You take yourself to the point where when you look at things, you're not thinking, I will be able to afford this or I can't afford this. Hello, ma'am. Hello, tickle me, Valor. Valor. Tickle me, Valor. Saloon. Hi. Right? That neutral position. I always talk about Muji Baba. Hello, Kine. Kine John Nagadef. Welcome, welcome. I always talk about Muji because Muji teaches people to be in that neutral position, because that's the thing. Mentally, emotionally, you can be at a neutral position where your emotions are not driving you or controlling you, where your mind is not driving you or controlling you. And in terms of me, what I have to do now is be in that neutral position where I'm not thinking, this is too expensive, I can afford it, I cannot afford it, oh my God, there's no. Just be neutral. Look at the price and just see the price. It is what it is. Why? Because the things that I have been manifesting, the person that I am elevating to be right now, and I am already her, it's just mentally, I need to get myself there. That person doesn't worry about price. And so for me to be that person that I am manifesting to be, that I'm already her, who doesn't worry about price, doesn't really care what the price is, and doesn't look at the price to try to calculate, oh, this is expensive, or this is not, oh, I will afford it or not. It's just neutral. Because I have been around a lot of people before whom they just take out their card and just pay for whatever they want. I always talk about Andrew Tate, who's also another one of my coaches. Right now, my top two coaches are Andrew Tate and Coach Stormy Wellington, right? And Andrew Tate would always tell us a story where he said when he was younger and he was dead broke, completely broke. He went to a hotel, him and his brother, and they sat down. And a bottle of water, I think it was in London. A bottle of water was about, I don't know how many pounds. And he looked around and saw that the other tables, people didn't care. There were so many bottles of water, and people are just eating and just buying anything. Their tables were full, and he was sitting on this table with his brother, worried about the price of the bottle of the water. And he was telling his brother, there's something that we're not doing right. There's something we're doing wrong. Because look at this table. They don't even care how much this costs. And we're here, we can't even afford a bottle of water. There is something we're not doing right. And I'm telling you, when things are hard, there's something we're not doing right. There's something we're not seeing right. The peripheral, right? There's still the rose glasses on. There's still something stopping us from seeing in a wider position. Be able to know that things are not hard. Life is just changing. You are changing into the person that you told the universe that you wanted to be. All right, so that's it for today. I'll see you again next week. And to summarize, I don't want to pick a card. Well, I can pick a card from Louise Hay, How to Love Yourself. Before I will Louise Hay, How to Love Yourself. And to summarize it, Dr. Wayne Dyer, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at yourself, and by the way, that's actually a book, an amazing audio book. I had the book in physical and I had the audio book. Listened to it and read it. I think the audio book you can find on YouTube, right? If you're part of my Telegram group, you can send me a message and then I'll get the audio book. I think the book is called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at yourself, you change. So when things are hard, always remember, always hear my voice at the back of your mind telling you that things are not hard, things are not difficult. You don't have a problem until you think it's a problem, and then it becomes a problem. When things are hard, your life is changing. You are changing. All right. I release all feelings of negativity and guilt. I release all feelings of negativity and guilt, especially if you feel guilty for doing better, for being better. Good stuff. Thank you, Tabra. Glad you like it. If you feel guilty for changing, for transforming, for being better, for doing better, for leaving people behind, for cutting people off, we create habits. Content creation, right? The campus, they always say burn all bridges, burn all bridges, but don't waste it. If you burn a bridge, make sure you become better. You cannot burn a bridge and then stay the same. We create habits and problems to fulfill a need. What if you're used to toxicity? Then the thoughts and the habits and the things that you create is to make you feel alive. Because toxicity, as I always say, is exciting. Toxic relationships are exciting. So there's a certain form of excitement. Gossiping, for people that gossiping, it brings that underline of feeling alive. So when you're doing these things, you're fulfilling a need to feel alive, to feel like you're better than the person you're talking about, to feel that pump, that underlying pumping in being around toxic environments. We create habits and problems to fulfill a need. When I can find a positive way to fulfill the need, I can release the problem. A lot of people don't do personal development because it's not exciting enough. A lot of men do not heal, and I've spoken to men like this, right? I can remember this particular guy that I spoke to, and he was telling me how his wife, well, his former wife, he divorced. The wife cheated on him, and another girlfriend, whatever, cheated on him as well. And I asked him, have you healed from that? Have you done any type of healing? And his answer was, healing? I don't need to heal. I don't need healing. The next girl is my healing. The next woman is my healing. And most of us women that haven't healed, these are the type of men that we come across, and we call them toxic. And many a time they're not toxic. They just haven't healed themselves yet. All right. I will see you again on Monday. I'm probably going to go out now to do some exercise because the sun is coming out now. Earlier today it was very cloudy. Oh, stop, bruh. Thank you, Kinney. Thank you. I'm glad you like it, Tabra. Join us again, right, on Monday, the same time, 12 noon Eastern. And now I do it for 30 minutes. But I do have a lot of replays on my YouTube channel, and it's the same name, Empress Fire Oracles Plays. And as you go out, before I close out, as you go out and you look at your life and you look at your environment and you look at the people around you and the people you talk to every single day, change how you see everything. Yesterday, I told a quote by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and Dr. Joe said, when you wake up every morning, you wake up on the same side of the bed. You wake up the same way you wake up every single day. You go to the bathroom the same way that you go to the bathroom every day, every morning. And you come out of the bathroom and maybe you drink coffee like me, right? My cup says passionate. You drink coffee from the same cup or tea from the same cup that you drink coffee from every day. Maybe you go to work, you stay at home, you have kids, you do the same routines that you do every single day. You speak to the same people that trigger you every single day. Now you feel alive. Maybe you watch the news. Maybe you read the newspaper. Maybe you go on Instagram, social media, and check and laugh at people and do whatever you do, and maybe personal development, right? For Girl Hold My Hand, we do the meditation. Hello, Maisha. Nice to see you. My Girl Hold My Hand sisters. So you do every single thing that you do every day, and you do it the same way. Now you feel alive because nothing has changed, and you feel like your life is normal because now you're looking at everything that you know. Now, the juxtaposition is, and I'm going to leave you with these questions. If you do everything the same way that you do every single day, when things are hard, Can you switch the way you wake up, who you talk to, how you drink your coffee, the route that you take to walk, how you dress, how you wake up your kids, how you take them to school, how you don't take them to school, how you make breakfast, the smells at your home? Can you change all of that? And if you can, that is the elevation. That is the place that you just go, bye bye. Love you. I'll see you next week.